then the Chiefs respond with the big hits of their own.
Now,
Good Chiefs support at the stadium today.
let's go! News, views, and behind-the-scenes chats from Sandy Park. This is the Exeter Chiefs podcast.
We're sat here on the Chiefs bench at Sandy Park, post Exeter Chiefs and Bath. It's Mark and Chubby, and Matt Banahan's in front of us. And your mum's just chipped in and said, "What's he wearing?"
I know, she likes his tights and doesn't realise they're sports compression layers.
Well, they are that kind of fishnet design.
I know, they're quite slinky.
Should we not let him hear us and move on?
We're talking in very low tones, but he's now looking.
Yeah, well, and now he's walking past. Awkward. So let's talk about this game. As a real fan, I'm gutted and struggling really to put it into words. You're the man who's normally more articulate than I. Can you help me out?
It's the agony and the ecstasy, isn't it? The absolute nemesis that we love to play. The game was an absolute cracker. The crowd finally at 75 minutes really got on and filled the whole bowl of Sandy Park with volume. And the game, we had it won, and then it was wrestled away from us. When they were camped out down in that scrum on our 5 metre line, penalty after penalty, a warning to Steno, next penalty's a yellow card. It was time over. We thought all was lost. We were only sitting on a 4-point cushion, and then Ian Tempest came around to the other side of the scrum, and hey presto, he spotted what was going on, and we managed to get the ball back.
And talking of the scrum, lots of frustration around that today for Murray Lowe, which led to him not really playing much in the second half because he kept going to ground, didn't he? Or he was out of line.
Yeah, I think there was a lot of stuff going on in that front row, and the only way I can tell, because I'm not versed in that area at all, but just look at how long Kanfo Tualihi was taking between tapping the hooker's hand to say ball coming in, and then hold, and then feeding the ball in. And he was waiting for the reaction to what was going on.
Having just been in the after-match press conference, naturally Rob is looking disappointed. He always puts on a professional show. He's asking for real character now. That's what he said in the changing rooms. He said that to BT and he said that to us. Let's hear from him now.
I just said to the lads, it's going to be a test of character. Some of you will come through it really strong, and it's probably what will make us a better team. Others of you will kind of still think there's an excuse out there and just kind of tick along, and that's kind of in a lot of ways probably the next step we have to take as a club. We had a bit of a nice roll on last season. This is a different challenge, and I say a new one, and not a unique one for us, because in our time in the Premiership we'd probably been delighted to be getting that close to Bath, in the past. I mean, gosh, we still only beaten them once anyway, so it's not like they're foregone conclusions when we play them. But it just feels like we need to start pushing things on and just, keep challenging ourselves. As the coaching staff as well, and just as a club, look at this as a real test of character and see what we're going to do about it.
More injuries in this game then. 2 head injuries first half. But Yendall came back on, but then didn't come back out. Lockie Turner and Yendall meeting a hip bone. Did you see that?
Yeah, I saw it at the time, and he just got his head on the wrong side of the giant of Luke Charteris and looked really out for the count. Lockie, on the other hand, trotted off, looked really fine, but it was Jack who was able to come back out and not Lockie. Elvis did a fantastic job when he came out in the second half. He was incredibly flying. He was like an absolute bullet. And Devoto, what a game he had playing from fullback.
Well, Devoto, I was going to say, I think it was just 3 minutes from half time. The ball was coming towards him, and I love how these rugby players turn into magnets. The ball just kind of guided its way in. If that was you or I, it would be a mess.
Yeah, but he's a professional. But Phil Dolman's just walked past. It was great to see him out there pre-game warming up, and the sooner he's back, to add that stability at the base, and also that the running lines that he runs.
Well, he's
naturally.
ready for Anglo-Welsh action, and now, isn't he? He's bound to be featuring in that.
With Lockie's head knock, I'd be surprised if Phil's not involved in next week's game.
And looking at some of the performances of individuals, how amazing was Slade today? Really controlling the game. Some fantastic kicks, some fantastic handwork.
Yeah.
Just outstanding, ready for England.
Yeah, absolutely back to his last season's best, and got so much much more to offer as well. He was just relaxed, confident. He was exuding the strut, and this was his territory. And his opposite number didn't have the measure of him, and it was great to see. Really encouraging.
And it feels like we have our other co-host missing, Jack Maunder, the man who normally joins us on the phone. He was on last week with Alec and Harry. Premiership debut for him tonight.
And what a flipping performance from Jack. The reason why he's not here, I hope, is because he's in with the boys getting bought beers left, right and centre, because he was superb. He came on, he settled everything down, everything started going forward, the passes were sharp and crisp and precise. It was just a really consummate professional
Time to hear now quickly from Steno, who I think the word angry sums up how he was feeling when we went to interview him.
If I'm being honest, after the last couple of weeks, it was taught us anything, the intensity levels have to be up there, and the intensity levels were there today. Defensively we were very good, right? I would say even right to the bitter end there. It's going to knock on for us. Our defence hasn't been as good as it was last season, and we've knocked it on a wee bit there in the last 2 weeks, and it is disappointing that, we just seem to be coming up on the wrong side of these close games.
Moving from Steno, let's hear from Thomas Waldrom, who so nearly got that try. So nearly. And this is when the coaches actually went nuts.
Yeah, 54 minutes. He was being pushed forward. He got that Thomas Waldrom of last year, where he gets underneath the arm of the first tackler and almost burrows through with men on his back. And then, again, unseen indiscretions at the breakdown, people coming in at the side, people laying off their feet, that you just get so frustrated about.
And you can hear that frustration in his voice now.
We had it there probably for 82 minutes and then lost it in the last 30 seconds, which is tough, but we have to get back on and just keep doing what we're doing. We can't dwell on it too much. As we talked about in the changing room, it's going to be about character and what we do for the next few blocks of games coming forward.
And if you take a look at the stats of the game, unfortunately a lot of it really do go against Chief, despite a massive effort from the boys, and they're all looking completely knackered around us at the moment as we sit here on the bench. Looking at some of the stats, Rocco made 96 metres, most in the game. However, Waldrom made the most carries and Lee's made the most tackles. That's kind of the highlights for Chiefs.
I'm not surprised the stats are against us, because we had to make up for a very error-ridden first half, and that second half was great, but we just missed that one or two areas where if we'd picked up points, if we'd finished the move, then we would have been in a much more comfortable position. And towards the end, Bath were looking nervous, they were looking worried, they thought, well, this has got away from us, and with more points in the bag, it would have done.
Oh, and there goes Jack Maunder. I won't shout, because I think we've annoyed him enough, bringing him on a Monday night.
He's getting more airtime than me.
He's been doing more autographs than Henry Slade, though. He's popular with the fans here, but I think people are asking him for Andy Maunder's autograph.
That'll change.
And it would be fraud.
Yeah.
Right, taking a look at the next fixtures then. Chiefs away to Quins on bonfire night, and then Cardiff Blues back here at Sandy Park on the 13th of November. We look forward to seeing you.
Your behind-the-scenes access to Sandy Park.
Thank you!
The Exeter Chiefs podcast.